Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's Friday afternoon, September 5th, 2025. There's about 15 minutes left in the market day, and I'm going to do a relatively short video here showing you some things I'm working on that are really exclusive to SGSI. I'm going to post the September add-on. I've made a few changes in the files, so if you're an Insider Club member, you're going to have to delete the August link and just download from the September link, which I'm going to provide for you. I mentioned this last video. I'm going to be pretty much talking about things that you can do with HGSI that you can't really do with other programs, and show you how I've adapted the software for my own use. Today I'm going to talk about some modifications I've made to the intraday money flow scans. Originally, the market is your teacher, and you'll see that as I go through this. Click on this. Standard risk disclaimer. I'm not going to read it to you, but just a couple of sentences here. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. Now I'm starting this presentation with Thinkorswim. I have it in paper trading mode. I just wanted to show you what has happened so far today. Here's where the jobs report came out, and initially you can see this big spike in volume here as the market, it was trading already, but it shot down and then went back up. But notice after the initial enthusiasm how the volume fell off rapidly as the market was climbing. Now, some traders, inexperienced traders, probably assume this is a slam dunk, but the enthusiasm was falling off. If you look at the volume, so let me just bring up a arrow here. So this is going up, and really this is coming down. It did manage to climb up here, got up to this high point right here on this bar, and then those who chased the market up really got hammered if they didn't have close stops. Look at the size of these red candles coming down, and at the same time as the market was falling, look at the volume increasing. This is fear. And then we finally got to this point here where buyers stepped up. Look at the volume spike. This is a 5-minute bar on the E-minis, and or the micro minis, I'm sorry. And this closed at its high. So those who have been shaken out here, the smart money, or it seemed smart at the time anyway, and it actually was close to the bottom. Buyers stepped in, and then we have a down bar here, but notice that volume was less on this bar than the prior bar, and then volume started falling as price was absorbed. And then it just kind of stabilized, and it's been trading sideways the rest of the day as volume has really subsided and been quiet. Now I put it at a level here. This is the short-term resistance right here. Here's short-term support. And as we go into the last hour, there may be some buying going in, but it's really not a good idea to chase these things on days where the Fed is either has made an announcement or there's a jobs report and speculation about what's going to happen. This certainly looked like a slam dunk to some people, but it didn't turn out that way. Now, I obviously don't know what's going to happen with the jobs report. Not seeing, you can see we're breaking past resistance, but let's see what happens here with the volume. This is a pretty good volume spike right here on this one. It closed near the high, so there's some bullishness coming in, and then a slight hesitation on this 5-minute candle, but volume fell off, and now it looks like they're going to take it higher, or at least try to, into the close. Where are we right here? Minus 1975, or down 0.31 for the day, trading at 41.41% of its daily range. And we're going to go to a daily chart here. That's a 78-minute. Let's go to the daily. And you can see what the daily chart looks like. Volume is heavier here. The heaviest since it's been back here on this day where there was a big spike down. And then yesterday and the day before, a couple of up days. Price rejection here, but heavy volume. Just have to see how it closes. Charles' response to this was, don't pay any attention to this job number, wait for a year from now. Well, if we keep getting job numbers like we got today, a year from now could be a disaster. Just have to wait and see. Okay, I just want to take a quick look at that. Let me get this out of the way and show you what I've done here. I've made some modifications. I'm going to be straightening all these out to make them more efficient as we go along. I know I've got an awful lot of stuff in here, and I'll be covering most of these items going forward. But I had the category here, money flow in and out all sectors. I thinned this out. There's still a lot in here. I may remove some of these, but what I did today or yesterday is I put a 4A category in here rather than a 4, and this is money flow out end of day for the S&P 1500 and the NASDAQ 100. And then I've broken these out, the 1500, the 500, the 400, the 600, and the Qs, because to me, these are the most important stocks in the market. And what my thinking here is that here the end of day represents yesterday. So yesterday is the close with money flow out. And for money flow out, the range has to be below 5.0 in the daily range. And you can see that fits here. There's nothing above. Let me go up to the top, above 50. So this would be money flow out. These are arbitrary numbers put in by me, just to keep it simple. But intraday, what do we have here? Let's sort on this here. As of money flow out, actually, let's go to money flow in first. I'm sorry, I should have started here to begin with. This is 4A is the money flow in. 04 is the money flow in. 4A is the money flow out. So here's what I did. Yesterday, I put these in, and the money flow in at the end of the day. When I click on that, if you look up here at the top, you'll see 921 securities out of the 1,500 had money flow in. These are stocks with a closing range of at least 50. And intraday, I want to compare it to intraday. So I'm comparing 921 to today. And you can see money flow in today is only 434 out of the 1,500. Now, I'm going to compare the money flow in intraday to the money flow out intraday. This is category 4A. So 434 in and 703 out. So it's decidedly negative, which you would expect after looking at that futures chart. But this is just a way to get a quick read on the market where the strength and weaknesses are. Now, it's nice in HGSI that we can go in, click on industries, rebuild indexes and groups, and it's taking the information, the real-time information from Thinkorswim to the 5-minute information, and it's building the industry groups. Takes about 30 seconds on this computer. Almost done. Okay, that's it. And now Let's go back to this money flow in intraday. I can sort on the industry percentage price change, and you can see here what's up today, where the strength is. Now let's sort on the money flow out intraday and go down. And here's a few stocks that need to be put in groups that I'm going to have to do that. But you can see that oil is down, private equity is down, institutional brokerage, PC, and so on. But more so than the groups, I just like to look at these hard numbers. Compare the money flow in intraday 497 on the 1500 to the money flow out 658. So it's not a terrible day. In fact, those futures, it looks like they're popping back up. But I can get a read on the 1500, or I could just go to the 500. Money flow in intraday on the 500. Once again, it's 214. Money flow out is 268. So it's pretty close, pretty even. Let's go down here. I'm not going to go through all these because I want this video to be pretty short. But I have the 500, the 400, the 600, large cap, mid cap, small cap, and then the Qs, or the NASDAQ 100. And yesterday, the NASDAQ 100, the money flow in was 77, and the money flow out from the Qs was only 22. Now, how are we doing today? Money flow in on the Qs, 46. Money flow out, 53. So it's pretty comparable. It's pretty split even market right now. It was worse a while back, but they're buying those, starting to buy those futures up now. So let's just take a look at the Qs, the intraday money flow in. Today, I'm sort on raw combo, and that's looking for stocks with the intraday range and so on at the top. And here's ASML. I can quickly go across here, see that yesterday volume was less than average, spread was wide, and the close was very high. So that was bullish going into the close. And the days down, it's been down for 4 days. And the BPOC's been down 3 days. Relative strength is weak, but you can see it's up 3.84% today. It's in semiconductor manufacturing. So let's bring a chart up here. Make this larger. Really a choppy stock. It's the expensive stock. But these numbers up here are the same as these. This information here is the same as this information here yesterday. And you can see it was very bullish yesterday. There was a volume pocket pivot yesterday, and then a big gap up today. So this one gapped open, traded down, and it's trading there the high of the day. Let's look at a stock that's not quite as expensive. Well, there's a lot of expensive stocks in here. Let's take a look at Micron yesterday. It was actually up. It crossed over 5 days ago. Volume was less than average. Spread was wide. Close was very high. So it was a bullish day yesterday. RS of 82. It's up another 4.48% today. And you can see that this information here on yesterday corresponds with this information here. It was bullish. Where did it cross over? 5 days ago. I go down to this one. And you can see that the crossover was evidently back here, evidently. There's a little green nub right there, so the 3 didn't go back down through the 6. That's why we're getting this information here that it crossed over 5 days ago. It's a volatile stock. As you can see, there's nothing about it that is smooth. It's just, if you own it, you almost have to hold your breath and just close your eyes. We're going to do one more thing and then end this video. I just wanted to give you an introduction to what I'm doing here. Let's take a look at the ranking module. While we're RSI 14 weeks and Google won, well, they lost, but they won in that lawsuit. And you can see how strong the stock has been, the A and the C, because it's at the top of the list. That's why I like this wilder 14 weeks. Now I'm going to click through to the warehouse. You can see that Google crossed over 9 days ago, 0 being the crossover day, both on the 3, crossing the 6, and the VPOC. And there you go. We're back here. Had a little pullback, and then a buy there. And it would have been a very profitable trade. I keep referring to these crossovers because this is such an integral part of the prospecting, the way I do it with HGSI. 3-6 is the micro trend, as you can see, the 3 crossing the 6. Now let's take a look at this. You can see Palo Alto Networks crossed over 16 days ago on the 3-6 and the VPOC 17 days ago. But this was a very weak chart here, but then you can see the big money stepping up here, stopping volume, stopping volume, stopping volume. This is a test, strength seen returning, confirmation of that. And then it started moving up, and here's your crossover back here. It's been a little choppy through here, but it's been pretty steady recently. So that's why on the scoreboard, these warehouse scoreboards that I put together, I like to look at this information. It tells me how fresh these trades are. Do one more. Let's go down here and look at PLTR. I see this cross down 14 days ago, but the force index has stayed positive all that time. So the cross down was here. Make it full screen. Right here. But notice the force until today. Now the force turned negative today, but during this period, the force was negative. The VPOC was positive all this time as accumulation was taking place. So I'll put the crosshair on here, alternate C. And you can see right here that the VPOC turned positive on this day. It's been under accumulation, and it looks like it might be setting up again. Once again, I refer to my spreadsheet here, the scorecard. Just get a lot of information about how old or how new these signals are. That's it for this video. Remember that if you're an Insider Club member, you need to delete the August add-on and install the September add-on to get these changes. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.